Welcome to No Ideas Original Podcast featuring Shannon, Mr. Rob, and Zane. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What up? What up?
Yeah, I just noticed that you're both matching. Ain't nobody give me the memo.
Easy.
I didn't get the memo for the shirt.
Man, you supposed to know, man.
You got no ideas in your heart, man.
Next time. Next time.
Nah. I know what Shy gonna pull that shirt off and be like, yeah, see.
Yo, you know what? I actually
He might have it under that shirt, Rob. Don't he might do it like halfway through the episode.
Yeah,
I like when you wear the white one. I like the white one better a little bit, man. The white one pops a little bit, man.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he don't got this medium shirt on. So the white make him look bigger.
Now you know what it is? It's actually called exercising. You should try it. Yo, Z, the only thing you lifting is a wing and a drumstick at the barbecue.
And a little bit of Hennessy.
Yo, you know what's funny too, fellas? I didn't go out yesterday at all, man, and I just stayed in. I wasn't really.
You got some rest, you know.
Nah, I didn't even get no rest. I just wasn't in the mood for the fireworks and none of that stuff, man. I just said, but the funny thing, how you brought up chicken, I made some barbecue. I made a barbecue chicken dinner last night. That's going to be excellent, man.
It was good.
Yo, you was being anti-patriotic?
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm a patriotic person. I love America. I wouldn't want to be nowhere else. But just like with America and anywhere else on this globe, you know, it's nothing perfect. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, a lot of the stuff that happened with like George Floyd and too much police brutality, and I can go on and on and on. I just wasn't in the mood to be out and about and, you know, mingling with that type of situation right now.
I'll tell you this, man. Living in the Northeast, this is a patriotic section of the planet.
It is, bro.
And yesterday, which was kind of just mind-blowing, not mind-blowing, but mind-blowing, is that right around 9 o'clock, me and Janelle stepped outside and stepped on the porch. And yo, our neighbors are blasting Yankee Doodle Dandy, the national anthem, God Bless America, like it was a concert.
Wow.
And after every song, boom, 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 boom. It was almost like the Bronx came to the suburbs for a second because they was blowing some shit up, but it just bugged me out to hear Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Is your neighborhood more like liberal, Republican, Democratic, mix? What?
Yeah, it's Caucasian, man. That's all I can say.
Okay. I got you.
And proud to be an American.
Yo, and then
hey, Rob, they didn't play the what you call the drink from WWF back in the day?
Yo, they played everything. Yeah, they played all of that.
Like for the rights of every man.
Yo, I sat on my porch and I was in amaze. Like, listen to this. I think I might have posted it. It might be on my IGTV. I think I posted.
Yo, but let's be for real. Like at this point, the 4th of July, with the education that we have, is just an opportunity for people to get a day off and have a barbecue
and blow some shit up.
And yeah, and then to play with fireworks. You know, no disrespect to people that are extremely patriotic. You know, like because I agree with Zane is saying or whatever. Like, you know, like there's a lot of other places you could be that could be far worse than America. But we still got a lot to work on in America.
I also want to say too, just something very brief. You know, Shannon and I lost a great dear family member, Uncle Donald. You know, he was in the military. So, you know, much shout out, tip my hat to a lot of the family members and just overall people out there that's in America that's serving for this country. It's a real deal.
Yeah.
Shout out to Uncle Don. Don. I shade, man.
And cousin Tamisha, what's up?
What
up, cousin Tamisha? What up?
Y'all ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it, bro.
Yo, so our first topic is when and why did constructive criticism become hate or make a person a hater? And I bring this up because I see a lot online now that it's just people just run under the umbrella of somebody being a hater or hate them. But I'm trying to figure out, is it a generational thing? Is it a class thing? Is it a race thing? Because I remember when we were younger, there was a time when an OG could pull you to the side and be like, look, youngin, you got to do this, or you may want to try that differently, or just give you a good word. And they weren't viewed as being a hater. But now anything that you say to somebody that they're in disagreement with, it becomes that you're a hater or you hate them. What do you think that's about?
Well, my thought is the trouble with most people is that they rather be ruined by praise than by being saved by criticism. You know,
That's a really good quote. That's a really good quote.
Criticism gets you out of your comfort zone. It's supposed to rally you a little bit, and that's what change does. And people don't like to change. People are stuck in this emotional sense of wanting to be loved and cared for and coddled instead of someone really building you up, man. And that's how you build up your confidence. So I think a lot of it has to do with the emotional stability of a lot of people, and people aren't teaching their children how to just fortify and be strong within themselves to adjust to certain things. And when you and the art of listening has trickled away too. People don't listen anymore. People are just ready to respond. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And it's hurting people now, man. I mean, you know, when I grew up, like you said, there was always an OG that was in my ear telling me, yo, Raw, I don't think that's a good idea, son. Or, I'm telling you, I know the outcome. And if you listen to it, you know what I mean? You'll find out later on to keep you out of trouble. And that kept me out of trouble for a lot of different things, man. Shout out to all my OGs that was putting me on the game.
You know why I say it may be generational is because I think about like when the whole notion of hate came into play was around the time when, like, I think Bad Boy was at the height of their success. Remember?
I was just about to say that.
Throwing it out there, yo, there's a hater, hate this, that. And I think for Puffy's perspective, like, there was reason to hate because he had a level of success. What confuses me around like the hate stuff is that the people who they allude to people hating them are people who are in horrible positions financially, emotionally, spiritually, mentally,
everything.
So to me, it's like if your position is that somebody hates you, is it that they hate you because they want to be where you are? Who would want to be in your position? So is that really hate? But I think that sort of ushered in this new wave around how people respond to any type of critique. Is that, you know, oh, this person is or being critical of me because, you know, they're a hater. And it's just like, come on, man. Like,
it's like Nas said, hate is confused admiration. Like you're confused on what hate really is. We know what the definition of hate is, man. We've had a culture that's hate our culture for the last 400 or 500 years. That's hate. That's outright hate. But the fact that I don't like your hat because it's red, that don't mean shit. Like, who's to denote that?
I was just about to say that too, just to mix of what both of y'all were saying. I think one of the main variables is that, you know, back then when we had OGs, like how Rob said, will put you to the side and, you know, try to correct you or whatever, and it's up to you if you're gonna listen. But now you got a lot of OGs, they want to be young, they want to be 20 years old, they want to be 30 years old. So instead of them showing or leading by example, they rather be like your age or younger than you, just to show that they still hip. And like, yo, like, who fucking does that? Now, at the same time, don't get me wrong. No. Don't get me wrong. It's okay that you want to still have your youth and stuff like that, but you got to also be able to teach. You can't be an older person that want to be the student. You know what I'm saying? But that's not to say that just because you're older that you can't learn from somebody younger, but you still got to open up that gap. And I feel that the one thing with hip hop or rap, that's what keep us as a generation like younger. It's like the fountain of youth. You know what I'm saying? You got, okay, like stuff that I wasn't proud of, like looking back in the day where, you know, we might not have been sagging our pants down like how Crisscross was, but you know, a lot of us had the little sag. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now looking back on it, you be like, damn, I look like a fool back then. You know what I'm saying? So, and the big skirts and all that, but that was all fashion trend. But at the same time, I felt sorry for a lot of people that was like 400, 500 pounds. They couldn't really find no clothes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You couldn't sag nothing if you was 400 pounds.
It was nothing to get back in the day. So and then just to mix also what you said too. Yeah, I feel that when Diddy came out with Diddy and Nas came out with the Hate Me Now joint, when Mano came out with High Hater and all that other stuff, yeah, those were good tunes. It was laughable tunes, but at the same time, no, seriously, but at the same time,
I agree.
right. But we also know that Nas, Mano, they are good people of character of what we see, you know what I'm saying, on camera and stuff like that. But that's not to say that they don't have faults too. That's not to say that they haven't done nothing goofy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think,
and also and also with Diddy, like Diddy was pushing that hate, and as we all talk with that, you got to be real conscious of what you say out of your mouth and when you speak it out into the world.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that brings a whole imbalance or balance to the situation that's going on around you.
Talk about
so it. You say, "Oh, somebody's hating me. Nah, if you do dumb stuff, yeah, somebody's supposed to not hate, but somebody's supposed to dislike your actions or your behavior.
What's whack is that it's become trendy to create these easy narratives for people to follow. So just to your point, Puffy comes out with a slogan, "Hate me now, hate." Everyone takes this, they look at themselves, "I don't like that." "Oh, you hating." Because someone else did it. And now it's become so trendy and so loosely used that people probably don't even remember what the definition of hate really means.
You know what it is? What it's become? It's become a way for people to deflect.
Exactly.
That's what it is. It's a way for people to deflect. Or everything around like the hate and all that is more so about like people's ego. It's just ego and their pride and the lack of humility. But you can't use somebody giving you constructive criticism. You can't use, this person hate as a deflection if your situation or your predicament doesn't warrant something that somebody wants. And you see that it's so the terminology is grown to be so broad and out of control. Like you see it used in the context of somebody at work. "Oh, my boss told me to go do this," or "My boss is a hater," or "My teacher told me this was wrong," or "My teacher's a hater." It just
my daughter do that. My daughter.
It has nothing. None of that stuff has anything to do with hate, and it has more with the ability for people to more so with people's inability not to be able to actually take constructive criticism. Like there, to me, is a level of openness I think that all of us have to get to if we're invested in our own personal growth. And some people get there slower than others. Some people never get there. And a lot of times the people who don't get there, they usually don't get there based on whatever insecurities they have. Like there's nothing absolutely wrong with being wrong.
Right.
You know what is wrong though? When you're wrong and you double down on being wrong because your ego won't allow you to accept that you're wrong.
That's right.
So when we get caught up in this whole thing about like people are haters and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong. Like there are people I think that are envious of what other people have, but
envy and hate is two different things.
But I think that people have to learn how to use those in the proper context.
Right.
Like how I call it. Like you have to have something that somebody has to actually hate about for them to be a hater. You can't be, and that's why I said like I used the Puffy as sort of like the gateway to this, because at the height of his success, there were a lot of people who probably were true musicians and stuff that probably looked at Puffy's craftsmanship and be like, "This dude ain't producing nothing. These records are remakes or whatever it is he has, all the success, yada, yada, yada." Like I could see people being envious and hating on something like that. But if you're losing in life, what the hell is somebody hating on you for?
Right. Hey, I'm glad you brought that up too. Big shout out to that loser that be hating that we ain't gonna say that person's name. Hey, I hope he I wouldn't say I hope he die, but I just
wait a minute, you said you hope he die.
Nah, I said I wouldn't take it that far to hope that he die. But
well, on a positive note, corrective criticism, it gets you out your comfort zone. If you're looking to grow and do something better, take some criticism, man. Criticism, it might be hard, but some of the best lessons come from listening to them hard things about yourself. And if you have the humility and the calm and the patience to do so, I guarantee you, man, you going to the next level of whatever it is that you're doing. Basketball, football, life, you're a writer, you're a teacher, you're gonna excel, but you have to learn how to take that corrective criticism.
And here's the other thing I'll say also, like I've always believed that the people who are open with you are the people who care about you the most, the people who are going to tell you the truth. You know, those are people who care about you. Like it's easy to tell people the shit that they want to hear, but you got to actually make an investment in people, you know, if you want to see them grow. And here's the other thing, like that to me speaks more to the actual person about your ability to actually believe that people care about you. Because if you think that every time somebody's telling you something that you don't want to hear is from a bad place, then that means that there's something going on with you that you like, yo, damn, nobody really cares about me.
Always in a bad place.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like paranoia.
It is. Yeah, it
paranoia. It's a sense of paranoia. Yeah.
It is. So now let's move on to our next topic, which is, I'm sure we're gonna get tons of criticism from the viewers on this. Because there are a lot of people divided amongst how people feel about the situation. Bill Cosby was released from jail this past week.
Right.
Zane, what are your thoughts on that, Zane? Bill Cosby's home.
Well, first I want to say I'm gonna refer to him as chill, Cosby, chill. Because right now, you know, with the whole Cosby situation, a lot of people are not really looking at the true essence of how he got out or why he got out. He basically got out on a legal term to where what's this guy? What's the DA's name? Former DA Bruce Castor basically had it to where Bill Cosby can come and give his testimony or whatever, or answer the questions that, you know, they felt could get down to the nitty gritty. But this position. But at the same time, those statements were supposed to be used against them in a certain context of law. Right. So once the new DA Kevin Steele came, which was the successor of Bruce Castor, he came and used that testimony against Cosby. And whereas, like, if that was the case, Cosby's lawyers wouldn't even have let that even happen. You see what I'm saying? From the initial, back when Bruce Castor had offered that deal for Cosby. But being that Cosby is home, I feel that there's a way that he can do it in order to not taunt anybody who was allegedly victimized. Because no, seriously, man, because stuff like that can scar a person for life. So with all these women that had these allegations, some more extreme than others, you know, you can't just, I mean, you have to have some type of sensibility or be civil about it and not, like, you know, make little slick remarks and stuff like that, being that you're out. Now, one thing that I can say is that everybody do deserve a second chance. So I kind of felt that when Bill Cosby came out, he could have said a lot more to actually, you know, show people his you know, more of his sensitive side. And then also too, I mean, hey, Cosby did give a lot of money to HBCUs, and you have a lot of people that's giving flack, saying that people that's supporting him, such as, you know, Felicia Rashad, she came out on Twitter and she said her statements that now you have a lot of people that say, well, being that Cosby gave all his money to these HBCUs, should he ask for that money back?
Give it back.
You know? No. But see, no. See, it's not that easy, because if I'm anybody that donates, you know, that extreme amount of money to HBCUs over, who knows, 30, 40 years, maybe 50 years of my career. If Right. Those are all tax write-offs. So that goes to taxes.
So it's mutually beneficial, you saying? It was mutually beneficial.
Yeah, because you can't ask for that money back, being that I donated to your cause and then filed my taxes. Nah, because if that's the case, everything's gonna get reversed. And that'll be a long, drawn out situation.
So let me say this. So, and this is, I think, like a whole different area, but I think we should touch on some of it. Because you do good deeds, does that mean that does that exonerate you or wipe away potential other things that you may have done?
No.
So
no. No. When you said a balance, I didn't mean it in that sense. I thought you were talking about something else. But no.
No, I'm not talking. I'm not saying that you said that. I'm just putting it out there. Like if people's position is that, you know, HBCU should be supportive of him because he donated all that money, you know, it's like that would almost be like me or you donating to we donate to the March of Dimes and then go out and then commit a murder or something like that. The March of Dimes not obligated to stand behind us as a murderer. You know, they're gonna be like, yo, we denounce that. If anything, they're not gonna want to stand next to it to be affiliated with it. Yeah, Rob, you was gonna say something?
No, because you know, an act or a deed is something that warrants the person from, you know, that warrants the person who's doing the act because they see there's a need there. It's not for anybody to judge that act or deed. So if I'm giving you $100, $1,000, $1 million, that's a universal stance karmically that, you know, something good will happen to me because I gave to somebody. It ain't for no one else to judge. Period. Cosby being released, the man shouldn't have been in there for jail because he didn't get convicted for rape. It wasn't his charge. His charges were, I guess, unlawfully seducing or manipulating a woman into having sex. Now, mind you, all of these women, they weren't forced to take a pill. They weren't forced to take any drugs. They willingly took those drugs. They willingly put those quaaludes or whatever in their mouth. So how are you convicting someone of seducing or alluring them to do these things when they willingly took these things? Isn't that what groupies do when they meet famous people? Isn't this what they do in baseball and basketball and football? These women, men too, whatever sex that you are, you wait for the sign until you get the opportunity to meet this celebrity. You know what time it is. Let me ask you this. Should a bartender go to jail for getting a person drunk who killed somebody in a car accident? What's the difference with Cosby having the ability to have whatever it was, whether it was Spanish fly, quaaludes, pills? He didn't drop a Mickey, but really, he didn't drop a Mickey in a drink when someone wasn't looking and said, all right, I'm going to wait till she get a little slow. That's his
position. It definitely wasn't no strong jello shot.
That's his position though. But the difference I think between the bartender and him is that the bartender is not the person who actually committed whatever the act is. Like if the bartender got somebody intoxicated,
right,
in the person, there's a direct correlation between his behavior. Like his position is that
the accountability of the person drinking the drink, it should be held accountable. These women are accountable for what they put in their mouth.
But Rob, their position is that they didn't knowingly take it, that he gave it to them unknowingly.
But they thought it was an Advil?
No. So here's the thing. Here's where I'm with this or whatever. Like Bill Cosby should have never been in jail because at that deposition, the reason why he gave that deposition and gave honest testimony is because he was told that he wouldn't be charged criminally for it. And then so once he struck that deal, and this is where this gets interesting because this shows just how far the criminal system will go to incarcerate a person of color, right? Especially probably a person of his stature. So he's in a position where he gave this deposition, knowing that he agreed, he made a deal where he couldn't be criminally prosecuted, and he gave what people believe to be truthful accounts of what happened.
Right.
So after that, there's no reason why that testimony should have been used against him. You can't try a person twice for the same thing. Now, where he's jammed up is that deposition is public knowledge. So there are public
people are looking at it like, yo, he admitted to doing it.
So look, there's public, like he has public statements of, like, I don't know if y'all had a chance to read some of the stuff, but he gave people quaaludes. He admitted giving young women quaaludes at that time, the same as a person would say have a drink. So giving a person a quaalude, like you giving a person a drink.
Right.
And one of the things I think that comes up with this is that people say, like, you know, well, this was the culture at that time that everybody was doing.
Now, now him giving those things, were those voluntary, or was there some coercion or force attached to that? Like, here, bitch, take this.
When you got the quaaludes, was it in your mind that you were going to use those quaaludes for young women that you wanted to have sex with? He responded, yes. So he how you call it, like it just doesn't look good for him. And I think that the issue,
public opinion, but public opinion shouldn't crucify, and that's what's happening. It's public opinion. It's the public's opinion about what he did and what he admitted to. Why people feel he should be in jail, but they didn't prove.
Here's, I think, the best way to think. Here's the best way to
prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
Here's the best way, I think, to look at this, though, Rob. Though, look, we're all parents here. If your loved one came to you, if your child, your daughter came to you and told you, yo, this dude gave me some quaaludes with the intentions of having sex, what would be your position around that?
If my position would be, are you on drugs?
Because all right, so yo, are you on drugs?
My first thing, are you on drugs? Do you know what quaaludes are?
And then she says to you, no, I'm not on drugs, and no, he gave them to me. It wasn't my intentions to have sex with him. Because this is what the women are saying. The women are saying
it wasn't their intention to have sex.
And the women were saying that.
What was your intent on taking a quaalude?
The women are saying that they weren't under the impression that they were taking quaaludes.
They just thought they were taking a drink.
He told somebody he gave him a Benadryl, and one of his things he said that he gave him a Benadryl.
I don't mean to laugh, because it's not fair.
So this is what I'm saying. And one of his things, he says, yo, I gave the person a Benadryl, and the lady say, no, it wasn't a Benadryl.
Let me tell you something. There are a lot of babies out here that's been made because people done got drunk and high and hanging out at their friend's house. Before you know it, they fucking in the bathroom somewhere, and all of a sudden now, yo, I'm pregnant. You know what I'm saying? There was no rape involved. Two intoxicated people, hot and lusty, and whatever the case was, infatuation led to them exchanging bodily fluids.
He wasn't Rob. He didn't take the quaaludes though. He didn't take the quaaludes. You see where this is going?
I see where it's going.
He didn't take the quaaludes. Like, and what I think happens with this also is that I think a lot of Bill Cosby stuff, because all the stuff came to light.
So is it safe to say that these women just wanted to be in Bill Cosby's atmosphere, just to hang out and shoot the shit?
No, I think that these women wanted to be around Bill Cosby, but wanting to be around Bill Cosby doesn't necessarily mean that he has the right to have sex with them.
And we're not meeting in the park. We're not meeting in a restaurant. All these happen to be in hotels and
at his house,
and in areas where things like that go on.
Yo, the joint with Andrea Constrand, I think that's her last name, was at his house with his wife in the house. Who, you got to be a pretty bold woman if you go to a dude house with his wife present, thinking like, yo, the nature of me coming here is to be intimate with you. That's crazy to me. But I want to go back to this just because the high caller, like this, the 70s was a time where, you know, like all this stuff was going on. And I think what happens is that we've gotten to a point where we tend to kind of like write it off as like, yo, this was just the times or whatever. But the times in society was not, you know, should have not been on trial. You know, like the actual person who did whatever the act is. Now, I don't think he should have been in jail because whatever deal that district attorney made with him, that district attorney got to own up to that deal. But for us to say, yo, he a free man and exonerate him from his behavior, at the very least, like, yo, that was irresponsible. Like, you know, how you call it, and we can't get to a point where we begin to make justification as to whether a person has celebrity or not. Because if Bill Cosby didn't have the celebrity, if he was a regular Joe Schmo like one of us, and we did some shit like this, we would have been convicted, crucified. There wouldn't have been no deposition to allow us to get out of it. It would have just been like, yo, you're date raping, you're roofing.
Yeah, you've been doing 8 to 15 right now.
Yeah, we wouldn't have had the resources to walk away from it. So, you know, how you call it, like I don't know. Like I feel like, you know, being a pops, if my daughter came to me and told me, yo, some dude roofied her or try to roofie her or whatever, I have an issue with that.
You know, and honestly, most women, when if that has happened to them, they kind of sweep that under the rug. It's embarrassing,
of course,
for them to feel as though they've been taken advantage of in that sense for the purpose of sex or whatever. Mm-hmm. You know, whatever's in the mind of the individual.
Yo, that's just
I also think there has to be some accountability in these women who chose to deal with Bill Cosby on that level. Whether, like, what are you meeting this man for? You know what I'm saying? Are you looking for a movie role? Were you looking for, what were these women?
I know why he was meeting them. I know why they was meeting them. But I was about to say, like, think about even the whole shit. We no longer call it date rape. We call it date rape culture. That's how prevalent it is. But you know why people was meeting Bill Cosby? Meeting him for opportunity. Bill Cosby positioned himself as a moralist. Like, he was America's dad. He was a mentor. Bill Cosby was at summer camps. Bill Cosby was all over the place. Bill Cosby was donating to HBCUs, putting people through college and stuff like that. That's why people were meeting him. Not to say that there weren't some women that, like you saying, Rob, that wasn't meeting him because they were attracted to him and wanted to have relations with him. But some people were meeting him with the intentions of, I don't have to sleep with Bill Cosby because he's supposedly this good dude. Guys, Zane, you want to say something?
The problem I have with it is that you had multiple women that kept coming back to this dude. So, like I said, plenty of other times when we touched the subject like this several months ago, if somebody violates you one time, you don't give them a second time to violate you. So if you feel that comfortable to come back, knowing you got violated the first time, who's to say the second time you won't be violated even more? It's because if this guy gave quaaludes to these women, multiple women allegedly, and he had the intentions on having sex with them, that makes him become a predator. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So that shows that everything is premeditated. It's not like, oh, they was both sedated already, and right, wherever they were out and about or wherever but just like how Sha said, they were at this dude's residence. So for them to come back, I think that one lady that you mentioned, what's her last name again, Sha?
Andrea Constrand. She had a relationship with him. She never asked him for money or anything. Like he was like a mentor to her.
And allegedly after he violated her the first time, she introduced Cosby to her family and all this other stuff. So I'm like, come on, like something, a lot of things not matching up. But also this, and another thing too, y'all, we always got to go through a fine comb of what we see and what's perceived in the media, because this is the same guy.
The media is throwing us around.
Right, because back in the 90s, and I think well after the 90s, this is the same guy that was trying to purchase NBC. This is the same guy that was going to come out and executive produce a newer version, a modern version of the Cosby Show to actually change the narrative of how society perceives us as Black males and females. And
yo, Zane, I'm sorry to cut you off. Let me say this or whatever, because this is also the same guy that got in the public eye and was extremely critical of Black America. Yes. I don't know if y'all remember it, but yo,
I remember the speeches.
Extremely critical of Black America. So I how you call it, like I've heard before that people feel like he got railroaded because he wanted to buy NBC. I don't know. Maybe that may be.
Think about his criticism. We just talked about criticism. What was his criticism on Black America at that time? Some people were just not living right. And coming from where Bill Cosby came from, parenting was at an all-time low. You know, people were not paying attention where their sons were going. Why were your sons involved in certain atmospheres and in certain circles to get themselves caught up in things when they could have had a better disposition? You know, and we can blame, you know, how the black family has disintegrated and the black male isn't in the home to be a father figure for their child. So many things have happened as to why Bill came out on a critical level, just to shake some people up. But people looked at it like he was hating. It's fun. All this shit kind of coincides with what we're talking about. But Bill had made a stance to say to people, yo, son, take some accountability what you're doing in front of your kids. Are you giving your kids the best opportunity so they don't have to take these other choices and matters in their own hands and go out in the street and make choices for themselves that they know they can't deal with, and then come back, and then we have the nation that what we have now, where motherfuckers is chopping each other in half.
Yeah. Yo, Bill Cosby's critique of Black America was fair, and it was accurate. It was spot on. The only difference is that you can't offer that critique, and you living just as foul. Like that's what that's what make it. That's what make it difficult. It's like, yo, so are you this person who you put yourself out as a moralist, and you have this high moral compass that's doing all these wonderful things, and you have all these wonderful things to say with the black community, but then on the other hand, you got all this scandal and all this other stuff going on. Like, yo, which one is it? Like, I think that as much as Bill Cosby, I think Bill Cosby has done a lot to contribute to staining and soiling his own reputation. And, you know, it almost seems like, I don't know. I don't know if he's or if people, because we want to hold on to the imagery of what Bill Cosby was in the 80s, that the black community should accept him and should support him and rally around him around this stuff.
If you're wrong, you're wrong. And he would need to take some corrective criticism or constructive criticism himself. Like, yo, Bill, you all this moral individual. What the fuck you dealing with Quaaludes? Like, you didn't think that was another thing. But that's the thing. When you do things in the dark, some people never thought it would come to light. Now, man, these things happened in the 70s, and here it is surfacing 50 years later.
Yeah.
You know, you have to answer to them things, and when it's time to answer them from a corrective or constructive criticism perspective, it's probably very uncomfortable to Bill. Right? It has to be.
You know the person that's under a lot of, huh?
I said I don't know if Bill Cosby's ego is. I don't know if Bill Cosby's ego, and I think other people kind of like tuck in the other allegations under the rug is going to allow him to actually take that type of critique. Like Zayn started off by saying, like, you know, Zayn alluded to that he needed some public relations and that he needed to show a sensible side. I don't get that from him. I think that he's going to come out and be like, yo, I was exonerated. They had it wrong the whole time, or whatever it is. I don't know if he's going to take the approach what Rob is saying also and be like, yo, what, you know, I shouldn't have had the Quaaludes or whatever it is. I just think that it's going to be a collective consortium of people getting together to say that, you know, because Bill Cosby was trying to buy NBC, he was framed, or these women, you know, like somebody, I think Damon Wayans had to basically retract his statement because Damon Wayans had said something joint like, yo, them women were unrapeable or whatever. Like, yo, when you say stuff like that, it's just like, how you call it, like, yo, I don't know. I feel like that.
Damon Wayans said that?
He said that, yo, a lot of them women were unrapeable, and they came for him. He had to retract that. Yo, so while we on the subject of Bill Cosby, you know, and Bill Cosby's reputation, should Bill Cosby be canceled? Is cancel culture a good thing?
Go ahead, Rob. You go first on
that. Wow, you know what? Cancel culture is there's pros and cons to cancel culture. The pros are, you know, cancel culture, they seek accountability. They want people to be accountable for their actions. They give the voices to the disenfranchised. But the cons of that is that the cancel culture can almost appear to be like bullies, and it incites violence because you get this congregation of people who feel the same way, and then all of a sudden it spills out to the streets and it spills out to social and public atmospheres, and it turns into a whole nother monster. Celebrities, social figures, political figures, they get caught up in dumb shit, and when people has an opinion on it, a strong opinion upon it, it hits the airwaves, and people can't, you have people who follow other people. Oh, word, he did that? Oh, that's whack, son. He shouldn't be doing that shit. That shit, fuck that nigga. You know what I mean? And that's how them things happen, man. It's crazy, B. The cancel culture, the way is developed with Black Twitter, the Twitter world. Because one minute you can put something can happen, right? You post something, Black Twitter catches it, and the moment you come out the bathroom, they hate you. It happens that fucking fast. Like, no one does research or find out what really happens at the root of the tutor of what goes on. It's like you see it, you hear it, I got a response to it, and people follow. I think that's why. But I think like I said, I think the great part about it is that, just taking point for the CEO of Goya, when he supported Trump, everyone was boycotting Goya, but the same dude supported Obama, and everybody was buying Goya.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do you gauge that? You know what I'm saying? People are just fair weather fans to a certain degree. It's like, one minute I like you, next minute I don't like you.
Yeah,
you know what you can't pay attention to.
You know what? To me, I think like there are things that I think warrant cancellation, but there are things that don't warrant cancellation. So I'll give you an example. When you look at, they dig up people's tweets from 15 years ago, and somebody they said something that's inappropriate or whatever 15 years ago, and they want to cancel them. Like, to me, maybe the person should come out and issue an apology, but I would hope that a person who tweeted something 15 years ago is not the same person that they are 15 years today. If you are, you got a real big problem. Like, there's my position on a lot of things have changed in 15 years, and most of the time it's these public figures that have gotten exposure to different things. So maybe when they were in high school, they tweeted, the hell with this person or that person or whatever it is. But to hold them accountable 20 years later, like I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
But why do people bring up old shit? Even with Chauncey Billups, he's going for the job to be a coach of Portland, and they bring up some rape shit that happened, some shit he was accused of, or whatever the case was, that just happened to show up the day he's looking for a job.
You know why? Because I think that people mine. There are people who do nothing but mine the internet to look for.
And the same thing with Cosby. Now, what they call it, Federal Trade Commission agreed to the deal of him buying NBC. They agreed. It's public knowledge. They agreed to the deal. Once they found out this man was signing the ink on buying that entire network, here come the witch hunt. Oh, this nigga was drugging. He was drugging chicks. We don't want this.
Yo, it was. I'm surprised y'all don't hear about that though. That's been public knowledge for many years that Bill Cosby was doing that. Like, I had heard about that for a long. And there's like stories allegedly about Paul Mooney doing inappropriate things. Like, all those stories have been out there for years. Zane, what do you think? Cancel culture, good or bad?
Cancel culture, I think it's a balance. It's the yin and the yang. You got people that getting popular belief mixed up with fact. So, and then there's a lot of people that are doing things way worse than the people that they trying to cancel. But I mean, they doing, like, you got people that's out there, killers, drug dealers, rapists, all this other stuff, but then they want to Twitter finger, like extortionists. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, like, at the end of the day, I think it has to slow down, because, and I think that they need to have a board They need to have like a real board that when things hit the media, you have a board of people that decides not based upon popular belief, but on fact of what is and what is not. Because just like how I think you said earlier, Sha, somebody can say something from 30 years prior and it can come back to haunt them. Now that doesn't mean that the person doesn't change. You know what I'm saying? We all done a lot of silly stuff when we were younger.
Mhm.
And we have to, go through gradual steps, go through peaks and valleys in our life in order to learn and then teach others, what's right and wrong. But you can't just straight cancel somebody for making the wrong decision because they wasn't educated enough. They might have,
Right.
or a lot of the times too, a lot of these celebrities that get caught up in this gauntlet, a lot of them are not mentally fit, right? So they might go on a rant and on Twitter or any other social media or say something out and about in public, and people are, put them on a meat cleaver. But a lot of them is not fundamentally sound as far as with the, with how their brain operate. They so. But I also think that cancel culture it's going to be here to stay, man, because we in a whole nother like realm right now. Yeah, like all these different, civil rights that people have and all that stuff.
You know why it's gonna be here to stay, Zane? It's gonna be,
What?
you're right, it's gonna be here to stay because like what Rob said, ain't nobody trying to do no research. If the
Nope.
popular opinion is to get this person out of here, they out of there. That's it. Yo, Zane, I just now when you was talking about a board, let's say we got our own board right here. Let's take a vote on 3 people and answer, do we think that these people should be canceled or not?
All right.
Donald Trump. Canceled, yes or no?
Yep. Nah. Hey. How Teddy Riley said it in that song?
Yep.
No, really. So Zane, Donald Trump canceled.
Yep.
Okay. Canceled. Okay. I would say yes too. R. Kelly canceled.
With a capital CANCELLED in parentheses, emojis, all that.
Okay, the next one.
You see that point there. I love his music, but because of the shit he's done and he's accused of, I've followed like everyone else. Like I don't like him even now, son. Like
somebody somewhere is defending his logic, saying, "Yo, them women they knew what they was going to get by going back to him."
And that's the part I'm talking about. That unless you're hogtied and someone has really put this Mickey in your drink, you gotta have some idea about what you're dealing with these celebrities when you're dealing with them, man. These women have a motive. They have somewhere in the back of their brain, I'm gonna fuck him, I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna show a little extra titties. I don't know. I'm gonna do something for him to like me, for him to be excited that I'm in his presence now. You know what I'm saying? You're not just going to sit there talking about library cards. You're not doing that. You're not doing that.
Especially when this dude dressed up. What he used to dress up like Zorro?
Yo, last one. This one is a little bit more challenging. Candace Owens.
Oh shit. You know what? Nah, I'm not canceling her. Even though she can be a bit obnoxious, she's really a bright chick.
Candace Owens. Rob says no. I say no cancellation for Candace Owens either.
She's really a bright chick.
You know why I say no cancellation for her? Because the only thing that Candace Owens has ever done to me is disagree with my political views. And that's not a crime. That doesn't mean
not a crime, son.
Cancellation. That just means that we have different political ideologies. Come on, Zane. Candace Owens. Cancel, yes or no?
As for now, I'm gonna say it's a little bit too early because Candace Owens.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Come on.
Oh, yes or no?
Yes or no?
I'm gonna say no. I'll say no. I'll say no. Yeah.
Yo, so think about the people that we cancel. We cancel people that we believe are involved in what sexual assaults, insurrections.
Late disrespect, man. Like, you can tell people I can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and I can get off and grab people pussy and all of that. Get the fuck out of here, son. And you're the leader of the free world. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. So we agree that cancel culture has some value.
Yeah,
It depends on who's getting canceled, right?
Yeah.
It depends on, I guess, who's getting canceled.
It depends on who's getting canceled, but then you gotta look at who's canceled and a teeny bit of research to tell you if you know anything about this person, if their track record shows you that they're an asshole, get them the fuck out of it.
Yeah. Oh man. Speaking of Fifth Avenue, have you guys seen the uptick in violence in New York City recently?
Yeah,
I've been hearing about it from a lot of my people up there.
A lot of violence, man. And on the news, there's been dialogue that they believe that there's an increase in violence as a result of bail reform. That because people are now easily able to get bail and coming home sooner. That now
no pre-trial detention.
Yeah, that they believe that as a result of that people are in the street going crazy.
On all misdemeanors and non-violent felony cases.
What do you think, Rob? Do you attribute the violence in New York to bail reform?
Absolutely. If someone knows that they can get away, or so I'm just gonna go to the precinct and niggas gonna let me on the ROR, I'm gonna smack the shit out of this bitch, yo. Assaults are gonna be higher. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of robberies are gonna be higher. But also, man, murders have increased.
Yeah.
Murders have increased. Shootings have increased. From 2019 to 2020, crime has dropped 9%.
That makes sense.
And misdemeanors have dropped 18%. But another stat. But it's the murders and the shootings that increase. That's what's bugged out to me, because you shoot, you kill somebody, you getting the bail, my nigga. Like you're not just.
Yo, crime would go down though during the pandemic because there's less people.
Less opportunity. Nobody out there, you know what I mean, to commit a crime again. But that's crazy, man. Eliminating bail and the pre-trial detention for all misdemeanors and non-violent crimes. I mean, you got gambling, niggas are selling weed on the corner now. You know what I'm saying? With the marijuana laws being legal now for recreational, you know, I know, you know, not putting nobody's business in the street, but brothers are really on the corner, like really, like they selling ices. You know what I'm saying? And for real, son, and ain't nobody touching, and it's just a free for all. And if you got that in the back of your mind, you're conjuring up in your mind what it is that I can get away with. You know what I'm saying? So that's a very slippery slope to deal with.
Yo, the whole idea of bail reform, I think, was a good idea because the people who were disproportionately impacted by the rules as it relates to people of color.
Right.
People of color had issues with actually making bail. Was it done? You know, did they do bail reform to a point where they actually figured out all the different intricacies of it? I don't know if they figured that element out.
But wasn't there a revision to it too? There was some cases eligible for bail and detention.
There were a number of different things that they tried with it, but I think that like with anything, when you make these changes, it takes time for times to actually catch up with whatever the policy is. And I think that there are other variables in place that also may attribute to the uptick in violence. So we had a whole year and some change where, for the most part, the streets were probably operating at a 50% capacity. Like everybody wasn't out. You know, there were still people that were out, but there were people that weren't out as a result of the pandemic. A lot of conflict and things like that may have happened in the past that would have gotten addressed immediately probably didn't get addressed immediately because people weren't interacting with people, right? So now we open up And then we have bail reform too. So, you know, people are coming home sooner.
Right.
People who probably had, you know, rap sheets that previously would have been detained and now having the opportunity to come home. You add that in the mix with opportunity, because crime is a lot of time about opportunity. That's going to only lead to, coupled with the fact that people haven't been out, an uptick, I think, in interaction, police interaction and violence and stuff like that. So I think it's a number of different things. You know, there's more than one variable that has attributed to the violence increasing in New York. The real question to me, though, I think is like, what are they going to do to address it? Because I don't think that they need to altogether flat out say like we need to get rid of bail reform and go back to what it was. Because you look at the situation like a Khalif Browder, anytime you think about him, like he's the number one reason why they should have had bail reform in place. Like, yeah, there are people who just don't have the means to pay $1,000 to get out of jail. Like, why would you have somebody in prison wasting taxpayers' dollar, tying up the criminal justice system for how you call it 8 months, waiting to go to trial over $1,000? Like shit like that doesn't make sense.
A lot of people locked up for shit they didn't do, for mistaken identity. You know, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. They said you had a black hat and a black shirt. I just walked out the house with a black hat, a black shirt, and now I'm going to jail.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I think it's a sensitive subject. I think number one, you have to have certain tiers of or shall I say levels of some type of therapeutic or different type of programs, because a lot of people that are coming out, they're coming out to society. A lot of things change over the matters of years. They might not be willing to adapt to how society is right now, and a lot of people can't grasp or transition that fast than other prisoners that are coming out. You got some that have, like y'all said, longer rap sheets than others. You have some that have stuff that's not too crazy, but you got to have some type of therapeutic counsel of advisors and mentors and stuff like that. Not just have it where the person just comes out and they talking about, yeah, you know, blah, 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 and all that other dumb shit. If that's the case, no, seriously. No, if that's the case, stay your ass back in jail. Stay in prison. Don't come out and be a knucklehead and, you know, tarnish what people are trying to do in order to build. You're not coming out to destroy, you coming out to build and add on. So I do agree that there has to be a stronger systematic approach to how people are coming out. Basically, like being proactive and not reactive. Because if we go off the situation with bail reform and people come out and we reactive, that means we too late. Somebody might do some dumb shit, or you might come out, you have a long rap sheet, but you at the wrong place, you at the right place at the wrong time, and you be jammed up. But if they show that person has a certain time they have to be in the house, they are a part of some type of work program, or they getting counseling, or they getting all three, if not more, of those different features, then you have something to fall back on. But don't just come back and just be a dud. It doesn't do society any service.
But to be clear, Zane, their position on bail reform, where you're talking about reintegration, people actually coming back into society. Bail is for people who have been accused of a crime, but they have yet to be convicted of the crime. So these are people who, in theory, haven't been found guilty of a crime yet, and they just don't have the means. They don't have the means. They don't have the means to actually be released. So they were held within the system. Now with bail reform is saying that, you know, we've changed up some of the things that warrant bail, or what the expectation is as it relates to bail. So these are people that, remember, you're presumed innocent until you're found guilty. So these people, they may have had a history where previously they've been convicted, but now they've been brought to the attention and they've been arraigned and accused of a crime, but not yet found guilty. So all the stuff that you're talking about, yeah, it's a fact for reintegration, for people going back into the community. They need therapeutics. They need opportunity. They need counseling. They need all these different things. These are people in the front. The bell people are the people who are coming in the front door. Like they just literally are on the step and could either be going in or going out.
Right.
Hey, I agree, but also too, I forgot to say, yeah, the system is some of the biggest fishermen. A lot of these people getting, bail reform, they getting out, but they letting them know, yeah, we gonna let you out. We need you to get this intel, get that intel, yeah, and a little bit of that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so they don't
Yo,
they don't want
if
the
you
guppy.
doing that, you don't need bail. If you doing
Right.
that, you don't need bail. You probably how you call it, you coming home with perks and benefits. They're like, here's you don't got to give us 2,000. Here's 2,000 on your way out.
Yo, I'm telling you, man, they don't want the guppy. They want the big fish, man. Yeah. So anybody coming home from getting released and they ask you too many questions, you better have that shot. Yeah.
A lot of options out there, son. Watch out for them options.
Yo, but you know what? That makes it really interesting because before people used to be leery. You'd be like, damn, this person got caught with whatever it is, and they out. So then people
y'all look too soon, son.
But now, what if that happened and somebody come up to you? You'd be like, yo, how'd you get out? Yo, bail reform.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't safe out here. So.
Oh man, yo, did y'all get a chance to catch Mary J Blige My Life documentary?
I did, man, and I really, really liked it, man. Shout out to Mary, man. It inspired me so much. Mary is like the poster child for any inner city urban sister growing up in an environment where people pick on you, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, you're all these different things, you're bald-headed, and all it took was it took her to believe in herself. She had a talent. People heard it. She sung her pain away.
Yeah.
And look where it's brought her. Look how she's changed her life, along with so many other lives. She's made so many marks and accomplishments and achieved so much, man. To watch her grow, from inception, I was, just being a witness from the day she stepped on planet with her singing, and then turn around and here it is, man. I bump Mary joints like I'm a chick. Like in my car, I'm blasting my life, whatever it is, 411. I love everything about Mary. Shout out to Mary, man. That documentary was dope. So yeah. I agree. People should go check it out.
Yeah, Z.
Hey, I tell you what, man. Almost every black person, if not every black person, has a Mary J Blige in their life. That's a relative.
I agree with that.
She can remind you with attributes of your mom, your aunt, your sister, your next door neighbor, whomever. Mary J Blige came a long, long way, and she still has a long way to go too. But I just think the documentary
she dealt with so much. Like her chin is strong, son.
Yeah.
Mary keep coming back.
Yeah. Plus, Mary, I felt that she held back a lot too, and there'll probably be more than what it was already told or whatever that's coming out eventually later. But I also figured too, man, there was a lot of stuff that we didn't already know about Mary. One thing that Mary that I could say that is different from a lot of other like megastars, that especially female megastars that did R&B. Mary J Blige was transparent, bro. She was very transparent from day one. She never, like, even though she held her guard up.
That second album was all transparency because she was going through it. Man. She was going through it.
And I feel that this is just the beginning of what we're going to see as far as for Mary J Blige or what she has to offer the world. Not just the R&B or the music side. I'm talking about like the full spectrum.
Right.
But big shout out to Mary. I just want to see her, continue to grow because she's a major influence on a lot of people out here, male
That's,
and female.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I thought it was a really good documentary. Of course, the album is a classic album.
Yeah,
You know, to me, Mary J. Blige, arguably her first three albums you could play back to back to back and not skip one song. I don't know how many artists you could actually say that for. Watching the documentary, it made me. I've always had appreciation for the album, but it made me appreciate the album even more. Like hearing some of the story behind some of the songs. And Zane, you're right. Like she's always been very transparent. Like we all knew she had struggles with addiction. We knew that the relationship challenges she's encountered. But to me, like I think the ability to actually be vulnerable and put it on camera and package it all up and give it to the world, like that's something that's a timeless piece of work that she has there. And I feel like there'll never be another, no matter how many times. And that it's sad that artists get caught with this. Like that may be her finest piece of work ever. She'll never be able to recreate that. Like that that to me just the time that it came. I remember I was in high school.
And the timing.
Yeah,
like it just dealing with addiction. She was dealing with abuse. She was dealing with ridicule. But she poured it all out. Like Zane said, she was very transparent at how she laid everything out. So you felt every word. You felt where she was coming from. And all the production was time too.
Yeah,
man. That music that Puff, the ear that Puff and all them other producers had us feeling like, yo, my moms can listen to this as well as my sister can listen to it.
Yeah, it made me watching the documentary. It made me revert back to I remember like the day that I actually got the album and listening to it for the first time. I remember everything that I was actually doing, where I was at, and everything. Like that's how that tells me like that's how powerful that album was and what it actually meant to me, like being a teenager at that time. So I can imagine for her from her point of view, like actually being the author of it, actually making it and coming together and everything. Like I honestly wish the documentary was a little bit longer. I would have been down to sit there and go listen to her song by song, talk about
I
was like, yo,
I was hoping that was gonna happen at first.
Like,
hey, fellas, quick question. Who was writing some of Mary J's music back then?
Her sister was helping her. Her sister, Big Bub.
Big Bub wrote some.
Yeah, Big Bub. Her sister was helping her write. She was writing some. Yeah, so hey, look, man, like there'll never be another My Life album. Like, and it's just hype. Like I just think that there are times. I watched an interview with her.
You know what? We don't even have artists who are that transparent either.
Yeah. I watched the interview with her on the Breakfast Club where I think that they really captured it. Like I think Charlemagne was saying something to her. He was like, do you he asked her as it relates to My Life. I think he said something like, did you realize the magnitude of it when you was doing it? And she was like, nah. She said like she didn't even realize the magnitude of who she was until not too long ago. Like just the reach and the impression that she's made on music and on people is just like it's such a huge experience, and you step back and you look at it and you like, that's what I mean when I say like, music being able to transcend time and stuff like that. And I think that with music being so disposable now, like for us, when we talk about this a lot, when we were younger, you got an album lived and it lived and you played it and it had replay value. Now it's like music drops so often that like it's one week you
got a chance to live with it.
Yeah.
Soak in.
But that Mary album, like still to this day, still could ride to it. And I could put that album on and still get the vibe from the first time I put that album on.
Do you guys think we will ever get a Mary J Blige and Jay-Z album?
I don't want it.
No?
If we do, I pray whatever artist, because that artist would have to have gone through something to give us that type of material. Mary was going through so much. Not only living where she was living, she didn't like where she was living. She said her and her sister had to fight almost every day.
Have you ever been to Snowball?
Never been up there.
Oh man, I've been. That shit is like the Carter from New Jack City.
Son, so I could
You gotta show
imagine
your ID to get in.
you gotta live. You living in the confines of that type of atmosphere. You gotta come out and throw up your dig beaters every day, just to go to the store, come from the store, go to school. Yo, son, and then music is your outlet. You know,
Yeah.
imagine that having to come from an artist today. Like, you know what I'm saying? With
Yeah.
all the mental health shit that we got going on, we probably need another album like that.
You go to Slow Bomb, and I'm gonna do. You know, when I was younger, we lived in the projects. Yo, the smell of urine in Slow Bomb is like it's how you call it. Like, yo, it's a whole different animal. Like the whole joint gated up around the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a whole different
Project
animal.
shit. Real project shit.
Yeah, so I mean, yo, kudos to her. Zane, the reason why I was saying that I wouldn't want to hear it is like, to me, I like Mary J doing Mary J. Like I want to hear Mary J doing Mary J. I don't want to hear her doing no joint collabo albums with nobody or any of that stuff. Like I don't have an issue with like those best of both worlds, like mixture type albums. I just think that Mary J Blige and her purest to me has always been her best, not with a whole bunch of features. But
opportunity, if there was an opportunity, it passed. Because who would actually work with her in a collaboration and it come out real nice?
That's what I was saying, Jay. I felt that her and Jay always had a good synergy. Like even when
Jay did his thing with his wife already. I don't. You know
and that wasn't a great album. That album was okay, but that wasn't a great album.
Great thing. Great topic, because I felt that should have been Jay doing the album with Mary. I think that would have had more of an effect that can touch people more. Like, don't get me wrong, Beyonce's an incredible artist, but I kind of felt that synergy is stronger with Mary J Blige as far as collaborating, making records together, than Jay-Z and Beyonce doing a record together.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that I believe, like, because I have favorite artists,
they got to be in that capsule.
Putting them together don't necessarily mean that they make a good body of work together. Right? Like, you know, Heiko, like, to me, it's just like some people I feel like are artists that they need to be they have to have their own space to kind of create. And this is to get back to the point I was saying with Charlemagne. Charlemagne has said to her, you know, we all selfishly was saying for years that, damn, we need Mary to be going through something to make the music that, you know, that she was making before. But that is really selfish of people. Like, damn, we need her to have these horrific experiences again to get another My Life. Like, who are we to tell her that she shouldn't grow as a person, because we've been so spoiled of getting that type of quality of music. I don't think that she would ever be able to recapture that. I don't think that Nas will ever be able to recapture Illmatic. I don't think that Jay-Z will ever make it probably another Reasonable Doubt. You know, like, I think that these are just moods, moments that, you know, and that people, it's the sign of the times, the way they at in their life, and the art comes.
A lot of them three artists that you named, I figure I figure all three of them had bad dreams and nightmares about stuff that they gone through back then, and they don't want to really be reminded of it. That's why another thing too, a lot of these artists say they don't even listen to their music because it brings back too much.
Yeah.
But at that given time, when they was on their come up, they felt that release. They had to let them emotions out. So as they blanketed that hurt, them scars and all that other stuff, a lot of them don't listen to their music a lot.
Yeah, I listened to It Was Written yesterday. I listened to It Was Written yesterday, and then you know what I was saying? I was thinking, I was like, yo, it's unfair of us to hold these people to these standards. Like, we fall in love with these projects and be like, you need another Illmatic, you need another It Was Written. When's the next My Life?
God. You know what I want to say too, yo? I be looking at these damn comments, and some of them be rappers, and I be like, yo, if that's the case, why don't you make another fucking what you call it? Or why don't you like people say, I felt that he should have added such and such to feature on this. If that's the case, then why don't you make a motherfucking song that's hot as that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we always gonna have like the musical critics. But yeah, I do agree with that, Shot. Like the Illmatic joint was hot, man. Sonically, sequence, all it was all a storyline. It was all a story, like just like how Illmatic was a storyline too. But that it was written was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was written was a movie. If you listen to it from start to finish, it was written was a movie. Yo, did y'all catch the verses, or what's your thoughts on the verses? You had Soulja Boy, I did it first, verse Bow Wow, the King of Frontin', and then we had Legends, in my opinion, Keith Sweat versus Bobby Brown.
All right. Well, for me, number one, like nothing.
Easy,
like
Zane, don't disrespect them. Don't disrespect them. You don't like their
I
music.
was about to say that. All right. Well, no disrespect to Soulja Boy or Bow Wow, but to me, yeah, they contributed to the music and all that, the hip hop or the R&B and R&B hip hop. But I can't listen to a grown man that still calls himself Soulja Boy, and I can't listen to a grown man that still calls himself Bow Wow. These dudes is over 30 years old. Like, what are you gonna be 7 years old?
Bow Wow dropped a little one. I think Bow Wow calls himself Shad Moss, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he do?
Yeah.
But why? So why they had it up? I don't think they had it on Shad Moss. I think they still had it on Bow Wow.
Well, here's the thing. That's his stage name. If they cut you a check based on you being Bow Wow, then you're gonna be Bow Wow.
Yeah, but Bow Wow. Come on.
You know, Soulja Boy. Yeah, Zane. Finish up.
Nah, I think Bow Wow. Shit, I can't even say. I'm saying it. I think Shad Moss. I think Shad Moss to me had a bigger effect as far as making music, a better balance of music. But I think Soulja Boy, the thing that Soulja Boy has over Shad Moss is that Soulja Boy had pioneered the game as far as for ringtones or how ringtones supposed to be used.
Viral. He pioneered what social media
of artists. Yeah.
He was able to market himself a lot better. And that's what people are doing now. Like, he's always mentioned he's the first to do it. And you gotta just give him his props where it's deserved, man. He was one of them first guys to see a lane and marketing himself before any of the other people or industries.
Mm-hmm.
So
I ain't going front. Superman was dope. I like that Superman song.
In that respect, you know, both of them guys deserve their flowers. They've etched a part of themselves in music history at a time where, you know, young people were celebrated in the music industry, and it was good to see young people, you know, do them things.
And now, music was fun.
Now, Bobby and Keith Sweat.
Yo, hold on, Rob. Let me say before you go to Bobby and Keith Sweat about Soulja Boy and Bow Wow. Yo, hands down, Bow Wow had the better songs. Bow Wow had Main Dupree, writers, way better songs. But Soulja Boy, when it's all said and done, Soulja Boy, to me, I believe Soulja Boy made a bigger impact the culture. Like, Soulja Boy was the first YouTube rapper, the first really viral dude. You know, so and do I think that music was great? Either one of them. It was it for me? It wasn't for me. That's all I can say. It wasn't for me. But they're honestly, like, their contribution. I don't want to diminish their contribution to the craft. Go ahead, Rob. What you were saying about Keith Sweat and Bobby?
Bobby, yeah, I was kind of upset that I missed it because I thought when I seen the promotion, I was hyped, like, all right. And I found out, I went to sleep. I'm like, oh shit, it was just yesterday. Damn, man, that Bobby got classics.
Yo, you want me to give y'all the rundown? I
was never big on Keith Sweat because
Keith Sweat, he wanted to do that rule the 80s.
Yo, I'm gonna give y'all the rundown, and you tell me who you think won what round. So round one, Keith Sweat has Something Just Ain't Right versus Bobby Brown, Don't Be Cruel.
Something ain't right. Something just ain't right.
Over Don't Be Cruel?
Yep.
I'm gonna go Don't Be Cruel. Yeah, I'm gonna go Don't Be Cruel. Second round was Keith Sweat, Make You Sweat versus New Edition's Mr. Telephone Man.
Mr. Telephone Man.
Mr. Telephone Man.
That's
Third round.
Bobby had the cheat code.
How Deep Is Your Love? Keith Sweat versus New Edition's Jealous Girl.
How Deep Is Your Love? I give Keith Sweat that one.
How Deep Is Your Love? Next joint. I'll Give All My Love to You, Keith Sweat versus Bobby Brown, Girlfriend.
I'll give all my love to you.
I think I'm gonna go with I'll Give All My Love to You too.
That was big. That was big.
Next round. How Do You Like It? Keith Sweat versus Bobby Brown, Girl Next Door.
I say a tie.
No, can't. We scoring.
All right. I'll give that round to Bobby Brown.
What you got, Rob? I'll go Bobby too.
I give him a Bob.
Next round.
I remember the songs in my head real quick.
Right.
Next round. Right and wrong. Keith Sweat. There's a right and a wrong way to love. You know that joint.
That's gonna be my shit. I ain't go front.
Versus New Edition, Hit Me Off.
The Keith Sweat drink.
Keith Sweat, John.
Mm-hmm.
That was big song.
Okay, here we go. Next round. There You Go Telling Me No Again.
Yeah.
Versus You Don't Have to Worry, New Edition. Y'all remember how There You Go Telling Me No Again?
Nah, how did what?
From the New Jack City soundtrack. There you go telling me no again. There you go.
Nah, give me the Bobby Brown for that one.
You going Bobby Brown for that?
Hey, yo, Shot, your singing not helping it either.
Nah,
I know. I'm not a vocalist.
I was a little off, but I remember.
Nah, I'm messing with you, yo.
I gotta be more than just your friend. Verse, you don't have to, I'm going to keep Sweat on that round.
Keith.
Versus New Edition, You Don't Have to Worry.
Open up my Spotify. Look where it's at.
That phone listening.
It was Rick. Son.
What y'all got? What y'all going with? Telling Me No Again, or You Don't Have to Worry?
Now how does Telling Me No Again go? That's the one.
That's the one I just did. You Don't Have to Worry is the joint New Edition that I know that things
That's
ain't
what I meant.
right.
That's what I meant.
Seems like all we do is fight. You don't have to worry. I'm gonna make it right.
I'ma say Bobby because I don't remember that. That New Edition.
What you got, Rob? You got Bobby or?
I'm going Bob.
Okay, so we got next.
I had the one, yo.
Next is Come and Get With Me, Keith Sweat and Snoop Dogg, or Ja Rule and Bobby Brown, Thug Lovin'.
Thug Lovin'. Because I don't even know that Keith Sweat and Snoop Dogg jank. Thug Lovin' was big.
Yeah, Thug Lovin'. I take Thug Lovin' too.
Next one, Keith Sweat and Cut Close, Get Up On It.
Oh, damn.
Versus Bobby Brown, One More Night.
I say Get Up On It. Keith Sweat.
Keith Sweat.
Keith Sweat. So far, we got 4 for Keith Sweat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Bob. Keith Sweat. Next round is Keith Sweat, I Wanna. Versus Bobby Brown, Get Away.
Nope, I Wanna. That was one of the biggest songs of the 80s, bro.
What?
Hands down. That's one of my favorites from Keith Sweat.
Get it.
Okay, now the next round, Keith Sweat took it to his pen game and his writing. And he got Guys, Let's Chill, which he wrote for God.
Big song.
Versus Bobby Brown, That's the Way Love Is.
Let's Chill is my shit.
That was a big song.
I'm gonna go Let's Chill.
Let's Chill was my shit. I used to sing that shit.
That was a big song.
Like I was Aaron Hall.
All right, back. Look, Keith Sweat still in his bag with his pen. Next round, Keith Sweat, Freak Me, which he wrote for Silk.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Beautiful, well, Bobby Brown and Damian Marley.
Beautiful.
Freak me, the Keith Sweat drink.
I'm going Freak Me. You got Bobby Brown?
I got Bobby Brown, Beautiful. I played that song the other day.
Sorry, Rob. I gotta go Freak Me.
So listen to that beautiful song.
I like it, but it ain't no Freak Me.
I'm gonna check it out again tonight. I'm gonna check it out.
You heard it before. It's the joint Beautiful. That joint, right?
Yeah, son.
Yeah, it's hot.
The shit is dope, man.
Next, Keith Sweat, Keep It Coming versus Bobby Brown, Good Enough. Bobby Brown, Good Enough is, if it ain't good enough, I work harder.
Nah, keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Okay. Next round, it's a big round. Keith Sweat with LSG, My Body.
Oh, wow.
That's the mean joint. Versus Whitney and Bobby, We Have Something in Common.
Whitney and Bobby. I love both of them songs, but with Whitney on it, it was one of my favorites, man. And they had good synergy on that song. Yeah,
Bobby?
Whitney and Bobby.
Okay, Bobby, Rob, Bobby?
Bobby, yeah, Whitney and Bobby.
Yeah.
Next round, Keith Sweat, Twisted.
Damn.
Versus Humping Around, Bobby Brown.
Humping around. I was doing a lot of humping around back then and still now. So humping around.
Humping Around? I'm going to go Keith Sweat, Twisted.
Bobby.
Go Bobby.
He didn't bring like a little rabbit out that joint.
Next round, here's one that a lot of people didn't know. I didn't even know Keith Sweat wrote this. Keith Sweat, Johnny Kemp, Just Got Paid.
Oh. When that
versus Bobby Brown, Rock With You.
Damn, yo. All right, yo. I ain't going to front.
Oh,
when Johnny Kemp, Just Got Paid came out, that was one of the longest #1 joints for like weeks.
Yo,
I would say Just Got Paid, yo. I was
that song Just Got Paid is commercials, is jingles, there's everything for that, son.
Yeah,
got props to that song.
Keith Sweat. All right. Next, this is a tough round to score. Very tough round to score. Keith Sweat, Make It Last Forever versus Bobby Brown, Tenderoni. That's a tough one.
Damn.
I'm going to Make It Last Forever. And I'm going to make it
towards Keith.
I'm going to Make It Last Forever. You know why I'm going to Make It Last Forever? Because Make It Last Forever, people got married to it. Anniversary song. That song is going to always be around. And it's going to be a staple. Tenderoni, great song. Loved it. But ain't nobody walking down the aisle to Tenderoni.
Tenderoni was some date rape shit. That's what niggas.
Yeah, that's some old R. Kelly type.
That's what niggas is chasing their little girlfriends.
Allegedly, that's the alleged date rape joint. So what? So
Keith Sweat won that joint. He won that one.
Keith Sweat, okay. Another bit, yeah. So Curious, LSG versus Bobby Brown, On Our Own from the Ghostbusters soundtrack.
I remember that.
On Our Own, Rob. You remember On Our Own from the Ghostbusters soundtrack? I have to take control.
Yeah.
Oh, from the Ghost. Yeah, that's my joint right there. I ain't gonna front.
Bobby Brown.
Too hot to hit. Exactly. Hit that note again, Zane.
Yeah. That was my joint.
Okay. Next, Keith Sweat, Don't Stop Your Love versus Bobby Brown, Every Little Step.
Every little step I make.
He will be there. That was my joint. Bobby had to win that, son. Bobby got that.
Okay. Now the last round is Keith Sweat, Nobody versus Bobby Brown, My Prerogative.
My prerogative.
Let's do the tally. So Keith Sweat got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
11 to 9.
10. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yo, we got it a 10. A tie.
That's a tie.
Yep, 10 both. Yep. Wow. Both of them 110.
That's a fair session.
That was a hell of a versus, though.
It was. I wish I would have saw it. I forgot it came on.
You could catch it on Verzuz IGTV also. But
okay.
That to me was like one of the best verses that I've seen.
Right.
I hope that lays out the carpet for a tour, because the Keith Sweat and Bobby Brown tour would be dope, man. But of course, it got to be one against the other every other night, because they both gonna say like who's gonna be the main out of those. So they got to swap out the day.
Yo, I've had a chance to see Bobby Brown in concert a couple of times. Actually, there's still a pretty decent performance. Still give a decent show. Still give it. I haven't seen Keith Sweat, but he still gives a pretty decent show. So that would be a nice thing to see. You know, to see people take these verses on the road and do them at shows. I think Lil Wayne and Drake had did that years ago.
Huh?
Lil Wayne and Drake had did a tour like that years ago. It was like Lil Wayne versus Drake tour.
Oh yeah. I had tickets for that joint. I remember I had tickets. They had a show down in Virginia. I had won the tickets off the radio and sold them. I didn't go, but it was.
Hopefully, it was a good flip.
I think it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely a good flip. I sold them just $250 a piece.
Damn. Yeah, that's a nice
four. I had 4 of them joints, yeah. But yo, you know who was dope too? I would love to see Al B. Sure in the Verzuz, man. Al B. Sure had a lot of hits.
20 songs from Al B. Sure?
You sure, bro?
I say maybe 10.
Nah, I can't. Yo, give me 5 right now.
I want to get on my own. That one.
All for your own. Rescue Me.
Rescue Me.
That's it.
You know what? I know them by. I don't know them by a song title. I just know them by the.
Bro, I saw him at a show before. I saw him at a show before. It wasn't 10 there. The clip was empty real early.
Wow. Okay, well, how about this? Being that the other person that I'm about to name didn't have that many big hits, and they both was around that era. Let's say Christopher Williams versus Al B. Sure.
They got 10 songs between the both of them.
Yeah.
No, but I'm nah, yo, but
give me 3. Give me 3 Christopher Williams. Give me 3 Christopher Williams songs.
They got to mix some features in there. I'm sure, like I'll be sure wrote some stuff for people.
Let's go 3. Give me 3 Christopher Williams songs, Zane.
I'm dreaming the remix. Then I'm dreaming the second remix. That's all I know.
I'm dreaming. I'm still asleep. No, he had I'm dreaming. He had it's the way it's the way you do me. Remember that with the Dwick beat when he had the remix?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Every little thing you do. Every little thing you do was called.
Right.
Every little thing. So those are 2. I don't know the third.
I don't know the rest of them.
Ain't nothing left, man.
So Verzuz is supposed to be 40 songs.
At least 20 songs, right? Yeah.
40 songs in total, 20 from each artist. We got 5.
I would say I still want to see that joint, man. KRS-One versus LL. Or at least Big Daddy Kane versus Rakim, which I'm sure that probably if they ever have that'll probably be the last verses that we'll ever see, like a Nas and Jay, or
we're never getting a Nas and Jay. I don't think Rakim would. I think Big Daddy Kane would do it. I don't think Rakim would ever be open to doing it. And truth be told, like I'm gonna be real with you, I'm a diehard Big Daddy Kane and diehard Rakim fan. I could give you 20 Big Daddy Kane songs, and I could give you 20 Rakim songs. I don't know if the average casual listener could give you 20 Rakim songs.
Right.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna say I don't know if the average casual listener could give you 20 Big Daddy Kane songs.
You know who got a crazy catalog too, which I'm sure would do good numbers for them hip hop purists like us? Coogee Rap.
Yeah.
Coogee Rap versus somebody. Coogee Rap versus KRS.
Yo, but you know something? That's marketable to us, but the kind of numbers I think they trying to get for advertisers and stuff like that, I don't know if they'd be able to get people on. Like I think for Keep Sweating Them, when I was looking, I think it was maybe like 300,000, which surprised me. Because they did that at the Essence Fest or something like that. I thought it would be more people on there, but it was only like 300,000. Some people. So on that note, everybody continue enjoying your extended 4th week. Right, we got later this week coming on. We dropping our Paula Perry interview also. So stay tuned. Plug. Shout out everybody. Saying hit that note. Take us out with that note that you did the off on our own note. The Bobby Brown.